The vision when we opened the restaurant was like to have like a classic Italian, simple Italian restaurant, nothing crazy, like a family style, like nothing fancy, just real classic, you know, like a tradition. We opened October 2019, and then by December we were doing okay. Things were starting to getting a little better. People started like coming out, and it was good. And then March, it was a disaster. March was when we shut down, the March 13th. That one hurt because, not just because of the pandemic, because it was like, you know, the beginning when you launch the place, you start like, you know, advertising the place. It was painful, at the very least painful. Because then you try to reinvent yourself. What happened was, since we had to do a lot of like, you know, to go, we had to change the menu a little bit.
Yeah.
We did the outdoor, but that wasn't enough. People were coming up to us, it's like, oh, you guys should be happy, like, you know, you're working at 25%, that's great. And we're like, how can you live on 25% of your salary? For a restaurant, it's hard enough to make money when you work at 100% capacity. Mm-hmm. At 25%, it wasn't even enough to like to pay the staff. I even used like, you know, money that I was supposed to use from my son's college fund to stay open, to keep paying. Now we have like a good amount of people that come. Everything went up so much in price that, yes, we're happy that we have more people coming in, but the profit margin is not there. The chicken wings that we used to buy at $1.90, $2 a pound, now they're like, you know, $4.50 a pound. So that doesn't leave a lot of room like to make money, you know. When you add like, you know, the chicken went up, the lettuce went up, like, you know, tomatoes, potatoes, spinach. Just in a dish alone, we're spending like 40, probably like even more, 40% more than what we used to do before.
So today I announce a new approach, which we're calling the Key to NYC Pass. The key to New York City. When you hear those words, I want you to imagine the notion that because someone's vaccinated, they can do all the amazing things that are available in this city. It will require vaccination for workers and customers in indoor dining, in indoor fitness facilities, indoor entertainment facilities. This is going to be a requirement. The only way to patronize these establishments indoors will be if you're vaccinated, at least one dose. The same for folks in terms of work. They'll need at least one dose.
September 13th was when they said they were going to enforce the mandate. The first conversation was, like, my staff asked me, if I don't get the vaccine, are you going to fire me? And I said, no, I can't fire you because these are people that stayed with me through the pandemic. And now to fire them, knowing like, you know, that they have kids, they have like family home, that like they gotta pay rent, they gotta pay like, you know, for the insurance for the family. Like, how can you send somebody home like that? I'm not gonna force them. I'm not gonna do it. Like, if they come over here, we fight together. I have one like a girl in the kitchen right now that she's a line cook because she got fired from another restaurant because she didn't get the vaccine. She just finished school. She has a daughter, and it was like, you know, can you do anything for me? I felt horrible, and I was like, yeah. It's like, come in, I squeeze you in, let me see what I can give you, but like, I'll try, you know, because again, you have somebody willing to work with a family, and now they can work because they don't get the vaccine. Again, when you live a simple life and you gotta pay rent, you gotta buy groceries, and now you have that check missing, it becomes like a big problem.
I was actually completing my externship for culinary school at a restaurant in Lower Manhattan, and the mandates hadn't been put in yet, but as time was going and that deadline was approaching, like the pressure was being put on to like, hey, you need to get vaccinated or we're gonna have to let you go. I was like frantically searching for somewhere else to go because I knew I wasn't gonna get vaccinated, and I was ready for whatever came after that. But fortunately, I found Piu Bella and I found Antonio through Instagram, who had put up that they were not discriminating against individuals who were vaccinated or unvaccinated. So I reached out and told them I was looking for work, and yeah. So I actually had gotten sick of COVID back in January. So, they were coming out with a vaccine, and I just felt like my natural immunity was enough. and I just didn't want to get stuck with the vaccine and possibly get sick again from it. And I just felt like I was okay with my natural immunity. I mean, you're forcing people out of work, and being in a pandemic that they're claiming we're in, and you're firing nurses, you're firing doctors, you're gonna fire police and FDNY. These are all frontline workers, and you're pressuring the public to get vaccinated, but don't you need them on the front lines? It's kind of just the right to do what you want with your body is like the ultimate freedom, and everyone is entitled to that. I just feel we should be supportive of each other regardless of what our choices are. I feel like people are sort of split in what's happening, and sometimes you could even feel pressure from family and friends. And as long as we respect each other's decisions and choices, I think we'll be 100% okay. Yeah.
So the conversation was serious and it was like thought, and all together we decided like to stand our ground. I wasn't gonna force them to leave. I didn't force them. Some of them they got a vaccine, and again I'm okay with it. It's not that I'm against the vaccine. I was against forcing somebody to take the vaccine. It's about the freedom to decide what you want to do, and your job should depend on that. Like we made this decision before everything went like viral, everything went like on the internet, on social media. You know what I mean? That was something that was done among us as because I consider this place like a family. During the pandemic, when we closed in March 13, we had a meeting and we decided like what you guys want to do. It's like I can help some of the nurses and some of the the doctors like NYU long gone. We start doing food for them, and we were coming here at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't to make money. It was just to keep them busy and to still give them a place to go and work. Because like what they're gonna do at home. Everybody was concerned. So part of the money that we put on the side we used for that to pay them to come over here so we could cook for the nurses and the doctors. And I've been getting pressure from everybody, just because some out of concern, because it becomes like, oh, if you don't follow the mandate, you gotta get fined, and if you get fined, where you gonna find the money to pay the fine? And my thing is I understand that under let's say with this discuss this under the business point of view, it's true. If I can get a fine, but also if I kick half of my customers out, I'm losing money anyway. And these are customers that they were here on the bedtime. They were here when I was starting. People that I met from the beginning, and now I tell them, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to come in anymore. Who am I to kick people out? Because they decide not to get the vaccine. I don't know the medical history, you know what I mean? It's some people, they can't get the vaccine because allergies, whatever. It goes against everything that I believe. It goes against anything that I grew up with. I've been lucky enough to have a lot of people, a lot of locals that support me, you know what I mean? Because again, this is a small restaurant, and we had a couple of people complaining oh, you're not checking the vaccine. How do you know if we're safe? I had a customer sitting down here the other day, and somebody came in, an older lady with a mask on, and she started screaming that it's a dangerous place and we need to make sure that nobody's sick and everybody shows their card. Because even with the vaccine card, I don't know if you're safe. The same way you're not safe when you go to Bloomingdale for 3 hours, trying 10 different jackets or dresses for somebody's wedding. How you know you're safe? How you know if somebody sneeze on that dress right before you try it on? And again, there are rules that you can follow, set your tables apart a little bit, give a little bit more room. You know what I mean? Why not? Plus, you have the outdoor. Somebody doesn't feel comfortable on the indoor, they can always go outside. Even when my staff is a sore throat, they're not allowed to come to work. Because again, we deal with food, we deal with people. I have a food crew. So everybody, and this was pre-COVID, everybody knows if you don't feel good, you call, you take a few days off until you feel better. Once you feel better, we make up the hours and let you do like a couple extra shifts. That's not a problem. You're free to think, worry about whatever you want. Just don't impose it on me. If you're a business owner, think about letting somebody else control your business. It's not a smart move. That takes away, you're a business owner anymore. Now you're a puppet that follows somebody else's rules. I hope, I really truly hope that people like realize that they draw so many lines between us that we're getting divided more and more and more. First it was your political view, then it was the color of the skin, then it was the race, your financial status, where you come from, which school did you go to, and now it's like if you're vaccinated or vaccinated. We completely forgot that we like a community. This country was built by people from different race, different color, from different backgrounds. There were always going to be rich people. There's always going to be poor people. It's part of life. It's just the way it is. But being on each other's case definitely is not going to help. When I came from Italy, I had people helping me out. So when I was in the position to help out other people coming from other countries, I did. I put my name on papers to have people coming from Ecuador, people coming from Italy, people coming from Russia. I help anybody who asks for help. If I can help, I do it. Because again, it's about being together. And when somebody else draws the line, I feel like it's your job as a New Yorker to say no, I don't need the line. You know what I mean? Draw the line on sand, don't draw the line on stone.